Hello, 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 hello. How are you doing? Happy Sunday. Wow, I was struggling to go live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, but I couldn't make it. Sorry, apologies. We get again next time. All these technology thing. Don't worry, we'll get there. We ain't giving up, okay? All right, welcome to today's edition of our Sunday meeting. Let me call it meeting. Our Sunday meeting with me, Ma Okoye. Um, Today we are going to have a very honest conversation. Don't sorry, I just need to adjust something. We are going to have an honest conversation today. It's going to be an interesting conversation with a home hero, and she's already in the studio. She has been waiting. I will keep her for so long. It's our webinar where we come together as parents, the home heroes who are in the academy, the parents in the academy. So today I'm going to be hosting Nnenna Alu. We are going to talk about raising a teen in a changing world, real stories and strategies from school outreach experience. I am your uh, guidance counselor Mma Okoye and a seasoned parent coach. Welcome to today's edition of the program. It's going to be loaded. I hope you've already grabbed your popcorn. I'm bringing in my guest right now. She's already seated. I'm bringing her right. Hello, Barrister Nnenna. Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. So good to be here.
I hope you can
Good
hear
evening, Uma.
me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
So, I'm sorry I kept you waiting. I was struggling to do live on Facebook and this almost it's not easy. We'll get there. Hi,
Definitely, we'll try again.
yeah, we will. The day I'll try it is not going to be on a scheduled program like this. I'm going to try it on a different
Yes, sure.
date. Yeah. Welcome. How is our
Sure.
nature this evening?
Onicha is very well. Thank you. Hi, Sport Harcourt.
We are good. We are good. Just a little rain to keep the weather cool. Okay,
Okay.
today we are going to have you. You are going to have the floor today. So it's going to be about you. So, first of all, can you tell us about yourself?
Okay. There's really not too much to tell. My name is Nnenna. I'm a lawyer. I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm a mother and a wife and a volunteer. And I think that's basically all in a nutshell.
Okay. So, today we are going to have you on this seat to have honest conversation with parents. You've gone to different schools under the platform of Morality Rescue Team. We started it together, had our journey before I transitioned to another part of the country, but then you continued, and we saw a lot, we heard a lot. I don't want these stories to come from me. Let it not be like, oh, Ma, you are saying too much. Let another person tell her own story. It's going to be practical, real life stories from what we've seen from these teenagers. First of all, let me ask you, what does the term home hero mean to you? What does home hero mean to you?
For
Because
me,
you are one of the home heroes.
a home hero is someone who is always there. You know, someone who is always present. You
Yeah,
could be present physically and not
yeah,
present at all. But a
that's
home
true.
hero is someone who is always there. So the child knows that, okay, this person is always there, that I can always reach out to this person anytime, any day. I don't need, there's no protocol to go
Yeah.
to this person. That is a home hero. The person puts the home, center, front at all times. That's a home hero for me.
That's true. Thank you very much. Um, okay, let's talk about your journey, the main reason why you are here. Can you tell us real life stories from the field? First of all, what is that unforgettable moment you had while working with teenagers during your school outreach? Just one story that will shake parents. But before then, just pause a little. And in case you are new on this channel and you've not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and like this video, call other parents by sharing it. Let them know that something like this is happening live on this channel because it's about to go down. All right, share your unforgettable experience.
Ma, there are so many. Like, we started Morality Rescue in 2019 before COVID.
Yeah.
So it's actually difficult to just pick one story. There are so many of them, now.
That's true.
There's
I can
so
relate.
many of them,
Yeah.
I still remember the story of that girl. I think her father was late, and an uncle was helping with her school fees. And this same uncle was molesting her, and she told her mother about it. Now, you would think that the mother would put a distance between her and the uncle, because the uncle was paying her school fees, and during holidays, it was mandatory for her to go to his house. So that was when the molestation was happening. And she
Wow.
told her mother all this. Still, the mother insisted that she goes to his house every holiday. So in such a situation, what do you do? And then when the girl reported to the school authorities, I'm so happy she opened up to them. They invited her mother. After inviting her mother, that was the last day the girl was seen in that school. She withdrew her from the school.
Wow.
So it just tells you that sometimes the parents actually know what is happening, but they just decide to look the other way for whatever reason, whether monetary gain or whatever, but they just decide to look the other way.
Wow. Now, this girl, you had encounter with her. Can you tell me her state of mind? How does she feel about this? Because the parents may not know how she feels. It's all about the selfishness of the parents. Even if it's monetary gain, whatever gain, it's all about the selfishness of the parents. Now, this girl, how is she taking this?
Okay, at that time, when we go to schools, we encourage them to ask questions without, to write out their questions without including their names. The anonymity, gives them a certain kind of boldness to be able to ask anything they want to ask, because,
Yeah.
you don't know who is asking. And, she had asked the question. And I think at the end of our talk, after answering all the questions, we just said, okay, that if you still need to talk to any one of us one on one, we're going to wait a while for you in the school, and you could come to us. And I was so glad she approached us. And
Okay.
after saying, telling us what had happened, you could see that she was downcast. She was unnecessarily quiet. She looked timid. She looked quiet. So it must have taken a whole lot for her to approach strangers, and
Yeah,
come and say, okay, I am the one that asked this question. What do I do? You
that's
know.
true.
So
That's true.
when this abuse happens, you see a child, a boisterous child, an outgoing with a very outgoing personality, an extrovert, all of a sudden becomes quiet, withdraws into their shell, hardly
Yeah.
associates with people. Sometimes their grades drop, a lot of negative things start happening. So the girl was, uh, ma, she didn't look good at all.
That's why I asked this question because I'm sorry to say this. Sometimes we parents are selfish. It's all about us and what we want to brag about. My child is in this school. How that payment is being made, what the child is going through for that school fees to be maintained. We don't care. It's all about us. So that's why I asked that question for every parent listening to know that it's not about you, it's about the welfare of that child, the emotional well-being of that child, the mental stability of that child. A lot of adults are broken, they had a lot of childhood trauma, they are
A lot
dealing
of
with
damaged adults, a lot of
yeah,
damaged
yeah,
adults.
and
And
even
before
the marriages that are breaking today, childhood trauma, they are
trauma,
dealing with
yes, plays a huge
yeah,
role.
yeah,
And
they grew up with
you
it.
can't you can't correct an abuse. You can't treat
Exactly.
if there are physical issues, maybe injuries, infections, and all that.
Yeah,
You can treat those ones medically,
that's
but
true.
the psychological effect stays with that
That's
child
true.
forever.
And we are
Stays with
living in
that
this
child
part of
forever.
the country where therapy and counseling is not our thing. We are like trying to learn
Mm.
it now. So So it's a whole lot. So the best is prevent your child from that abuse. Now, thank you for that story. Now, can you also share a story where you witness a breakthrough in a teen's life and what triggered that change? So our parents will also learn from that.
You know, one thing we change is that the person in question has to desire change. So if you talk
Okay,
from now till tomorrow, if the person doesn't want to change, the
that's true.
person would not change. So
That's true.
there was this school we had gone to. It's a mixed school, and we had talked to the children, and one of the a boy reached out to one of us. It happens that he was introduced to homosexuality in
Oh,
JS2. As at the time we went to the school, I think he was in SS2 or so, but he was introduced to it in JS2 by his seatmates. So they're in
wow.
the class, they used to touch themselves in the class, in front of teachers and everybody. Nobody knew what was going on. Just put their hand under the desk and they were touching themselves. And that was how he got,
Terrible.
well, I say, initiated into it. But he wanted to change. So he reached out to one of us, and she was able to guide him through. It wasn't easy. It's an addiction. So
Yeah,
breaking free is quite very difficult, and especially when their partners, lesbian and homosexual partners, are usually very rich. They entice them with a lot of things, latest phones and all that. So excuse me, and sometimes they even resort to blackmailing them. So
yeah.
he wanted to change, and he reached out, and one of us was able to put him through, guide him, and ensured that he actually stopped the habit.
Okay.
And today he's better off for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank God. Thank God. Now, the very important question I want every parent to hear. I know this one you have lots and lots of them. When I was part of this team, we used to get questions from these
Yeah, still
teenagers,
part of the
and
team.
yeah, but as in going physically with you people, I'm still there, maybe on the WhatsApp group. You understand what I mean? So now there are lots of questions we used to see. I don't want to talk about them. Let it come from another person. There are lots of questions that we used to see that even parents, when they see these questions, they'll be shocked that their children know this much. Talk more of being part of it. But we saw all of those things. Now, can you share some of the surprising things you wish parents know about teenagers, eh, in terms of communication, in terms of the things they're indulging in terms of the negligence of parents, a whole lot that is making these things go into some of the unacceptable behaviors that parents should know. You're like, I wish parents know about this. If they know about this, it will be easier for both the teenagers and all of us in the society.
Okay. Before we even go into that, like I said, we encourage them to ask questions. They write down their questions without including their name.
Yeah.
One of the outreaches we went for recently, and a question came up. We looked at the paper, and my, my heart broke into so many pieces that day. So many what ifs. The question was, I raped a girl yesterday. What should I
Wow.
do?
Wow. Wow.
As I'm saying this, I'm even having goosebumps now.
Wow.
And I was like, hey, what if we came yesterday? What if we came last week? What if we came last 10? So many what ifs. But then at the
Wow.
same time, just know that you can't save everybody. You can't be everywhere
Yeah.
at the same
Yeah.
time. You win some, you lose some.
That's
So
true.
if only parents, children want to talk,
That's true.
they're looking
That
for an
is true.
outlet. They
That's
want
true.
to talk. And if you
That's
don't
true.
create an environment whereby they can approach you, whereby they can talk to you about anything, there are 1,001 people outside waiting to listen to them, whether
That's
for
true.
good or for bad.
That is
So
true.
children want to talk. One of the challenges we have had and we still have is that after talking to children, we talk to them about decision making,
Wow. It seems our guest is having network glitch. So while we wait for her to come back online, um, I will let me see if she will come back online. When she comes back, I'll bring her back. Now, from what she said, I'm going to add to that because I was part of that movement. I saw firsthand. I can totally relate with what she's saying. Now, children want to talk. Children want to learn. I mean, these teenagers, they want to talk, they want to learn. The problem they have is that no ears to listen to them, no shoulders to lay on, and sometimes the parents are equally ignorant of some of these things. Then they won't even also come to learn. I mean, parents. So if you are listening to this conversation, please share it with every parent you know. Prevention is better than cure. What we see in these questions these children ask is quite shocking. Like the boy he said that said, I raped someone yesterday. This is someone in secondary school. The parents may even be swearing, my boy can never do this. It's a lie. My boy can never do this. But here it is. And they open up to us when we go to school. You might be asking, you are saying us. We are the morality rescue team. It's a team I it came like a thought in my brain, and we are working in collaboration with on nature art and education commission. We started in 2019, like she said, and we visited lots of schools, had the opportunity to talk to thousands of teenagers. Okay, our guest is back. Let me add her back to stage. Yeah, welcome back, Barrister Nnenna. Good to
Sorry
have you
about
on
that.
the show.
Sorry about that. It was the network. So as I was saying
Yeah,
that these children need someone to talk to. So
yeah,
if you don't give them that room, you don't create that environment where they can talk to you, there are 1,001 other people outside waiting for them, whether to, to give them good advice or bad
yeah.
advice. And
That's true.
communication is a two-way street, you
It's
know.
true.
So parents should stop listening to punish or
That's true.
listening to correct. Sometimes you just want to listen and know where their head is at,
It's true.
and know what is going on in their head. And then you now know you might need to seek guidance from professionals on how to handle it, how to go about certain things. For because most of this most of the time is a challenge we have had when we talk to these children. We take them on all these topics, and it just dawns on you that after talking to these children and they promise they're going to change, meanwhile, our slogan is positive change begins with me. And then
Yeah,
they agree to that positive change that they're going to change. They're still going back to that home setting
yeah.
where
Okay,
they have,
someone, we have a message from someone. She said, well done, ladies. Thank you so much, Sugar
thank you.
Harmony Fix. Thank you so much. Okay,
Okay.
continue.
So you finish talking to these children and they're like, okay, yes, we want to change, we're going to change. But then they're still going back to that setting, that same home setting where the whole problem comes from.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
realized that everything you've done comes to zero because they're
that's
still
true.
in that environment. So
That's true.
sometimes we wish that, okay, we can have an audience with parents as well. So as you're talking to the child, you're also
Yeah,
talking to the parent and then empowering the parent with knowledge so they know how best to handle their children.
yeah, yeah. Now, we had some topics we used to dish out to these children. We talk to them about decision making and its consequences. We talk to
Differences,
them currently.
identity
You guys have
crisis
added
and construction,
digital safety,
safety, yes,
identity crisis and formation.
yes,
We also that we used to also talk about drug abuse.
and then let's talk
Yeah,
about sexuality.
yeah, sexuality too. Yeah, ability to identify and manage opposite gender, urge and attraction, and all of that. We talk about all of that. Now, a lot of parents don't even know that these are topics they should be having with their teenagers. And that's where the problem is. They don't even know. So when you're even telling the teenagers, they're hearing it from you for the first time. What the parents know is more of maybe something like, if a boy touches you, you get pregnant. Why are you following? Just on the surface. Meanwhile,
Mm-hmm.
the world has gone deeper than that. It's time to start having deep, honest conversation with these teenagers.
They
From
have a
my
lot
own
of
experience. Okay,
no,
continue.
they have a lot of information at their tips, like an overload of information.
That's true.
They're
That's
going on
true.
Google now. You have AI and all of that. So
Yeah.
if as a parent you're not going to guide them, There are so many
Yeah.
other things waiting to guide them. Most of them already have smartphones,
Yeah.
so if you're not going to talk to them, if you're not going to tell them what to do and what not to do and guide them appropriately, they would go online. There's TikTok, there's
That's true.
Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, all of that. And
Yeah.
they meet a lot of predators every day on
Mm,
these social media apps. So if you as their parents are not going to guide them, you are, how do I put it? They are going to be like a ticking time bomb
that's
waiting to
true.
explode one
That's
day.
true. That's true. Now, another thing too, like you gave instance of a girl whose mother is aware of the abuse and still pushing that girl. In that same class, there's also another girl whose parents are maybe like you and I, who are saying, no, 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 don't come close to my child and all that. Now, this other girl will be a friend to this other person. Now, what advice do you have for parents of, we still have intentional parents who are like, no, don't come close to my child. But the problem of such parents, they're not even aware that their child's classmate is going through this kind of thing and the mother is supporting it. They're not even aware. And that's why we are creating this kind of awareness. They're like, oh, all my children that ingest too, what do they know? If I start saying some of these things, I'll correct them. Meanwhile, your child's classmate is already sleeping with the uncle so that he will pay her fees. Now, this girl will tell her friends, trust children. We all went to secondary school. We know the kind of gist
Mhm.
we used to have it among us.
Mhm.
She tell her friend, my uncle will do this. This is hookup being groomed. Hookup is being groomed that you can use this to get money. Apart from your uncle, you can use it with any other person.
Any
Now,
other
for that
person, true.
parent of that other girl who is not supporting this and who is not even aware that the child's classmate is going through this, what can you tell such a parent?
Now, for such a parent, it's not just about, oh, don't come near my child, don't play with
Yeah,
this person, don't go to that person. Have you empowered your child with knowledge? Have you told your child, okay, this is this, that is that, Have you taught your child about her body parts or his body parts? Let them know the actual names. Have you
yeah,
taught your child about, I always tell parents, teach your children about the pants rule. Let
yeah,
them know, secrets that are good secrets. Do they know the difference between good secrets and bad secrets? Do they know the difference between good touch and bad touch? Because you cannot be with your children 24 hours. Yes, we wish that we can, be
yeah.
around our children 24 hours every day, but it's not possible. You're going to go to
It's
work, they
not.
will go to school, you know, they will move around, they're going to grow, they're in boarding school and all of that. So you can't be with them all the time. So you have to empower them so that
Yeah,
even when people come to them with such conversations, they're able to remove themselves from that group. They don't stay there because of peer pressure and they go like, okay, because some children don't even know that. As in, how do I put it now? Okay, some children fall into all these things as a result of peer pressure.
that's true.
I was talking to my youngest daughter this evening, and I overheard her and her siblings saying something about, oh, when this person says, I'm not your friend again. Honestly, I don't like that sentence. You will not be my
And I
friend
used
again.
it for you on Facebook when you ate your call without giving me.
Ah! And the first time I knew something was wrong with that sentence was, I
Yeah,
think that was
yeah,
in 20. Can you hear me? Okay.
yeah,
That was in
yes,
2012. My aunt, my cousin, my little cousin then, I think he was about maybe 9 or so, and they had gone for a fair. And one of the guys there at the fair had said to him, "You will not be my friend again." And he became sad, he became downcast. Immediately his mother turned around and was like, "What is it?" He said he will not be my friend again. The mother turned on the guy and warned him serious. Don't you ever say that to my child. He's
yeah,
not your mate, you're not peers. So you have no business being friends. That was the day I actually sat back and said, okay, there's actually something wrong with this phrase. So when
yeah.
I had my children talking about it today, the youngest one, and I told her, come, anybody that says they will not be your friend again, just say to them that thank you. I'm even tired of the friendship. And just tell them like way, you know, because in trying to remain friends with those people,
Yeah,
they will do
yeah,
anything.
You go below
Providing
your standards, go below out of your principle,
exactly,
just to
exactly.
maintain that friendship that is not adding
Peer
any
pressure
value to
comes in. That
you.
is peer pressure. That is
That
peer
is it.
pressure.
That is it.
You know.
So I think parents should also teach children about principles. Have your
Mm.
principles, stand by it. Any friend that will go
Yes.
against your
They
principle
should, they
should
should
walk
have
out.
family values. They should have family values.
Exactly.
You say that, okay, in my
Exactly.
family we don't do this, and be able to
Yes.
defend it and stand by it, come hell or high water. You know, they should have family
Exactly.
values. They should have personal values, and all
Yeah,
those things they can only have if their parents are physically present. No, not
that's
just
true.
there, and yes, you can see them, but they're actually not present. They're not approachable. You know,
Yeah,
so they
that's
should be
true.
able to talk to their parents at any time. Children would I say, I don't want to say disturb, but I'm looking for
Mm,
a better word. They can go
yeah.
mommy 100 times a day,
It's
But
attention seeking. They're seeking for
you just
attention.
have to keep answering, because
Yeah,
once they know that, okay, if I call on her, I call on him, they would answer me, it becomes very easy for them to come to you with anything that
that's
is
true. And
bothering
this
them.
should start from the early years of a child. It's
Yes,
not
two
when the
years.
child
In
enters
fact, from
second.
when they are born, you start
Yeah,
bonding with them.
yeah.
You start
Let the
bonding
child
with
grow
them.
up knowing that I can always come to this person to say anything that is bothering me. Now we have a question here from
Yes.
Chief Eme. Chief Eme, thanks for coming on board. She said, "Greetings all. Please, barrister, can you tell us the pant rules? You said it, you didn't tell us." So she's reminding you, please.
Okay. Okay, the pants shoes. P says privates are private. Okay, so nobody should see or touch their private parts. You know,
Okay,
this games children play. I know during our own time we used to do. I don't know if they still do it now. You have a new pants, and then you want to show everybody in your class that you have a new
that's
pants. So,
that's
so
true. That's true.
exactly. So privates are private. That is
Private,
what
that's
P
true.
says, and nobody should touch their private parts. And then A says, always remember that your body belongs to you. I always add to you and to God. You know,
That's true.
one,
That's
your body
true.
belongs to
Because of
you. Nobody should
different
make
things
you,
happening now.
yes. So nobody should make you feel pressured to allow them touch your body for
Yeah,
any reason. A child goes to the hospital, a nurse has to be present. If the parent is not there in the consultation room with the child, because the parent should be there ordinarily, but if the parent is not
yeah,
there, a nurse should be there as well, to
yeah.
ensure that nothing, negative happens to that child. So always remember that your body belongs to you and to God, because the Bible says that our bodies are a temple of God. And I always use this analogy: you will not come into the church and then, defecate in the middle of
That's
church,
true.
or urinate in the church
That's
intentionally. You
true.
wouldn't do that. So why would you allow such happen to your body?
That's
And
true.
then N says no, means no. So when they say no, they should be emphatic about it. They should be serious about it. You're saying no, you're screaming, you're running away, you're pushing that person away. You don't just say
No
no in a
reason. You don't
calm,
need to give
you
reason
know,
for saying no. Your no is
exactly. No
no.
is a complete sentence, and they
Unapologetically.
should be bold about saying no. There's
Yeah,
something called SRR. You should shout, run, and report.
yeah,
That is what the SSR: shout, run, report. And then T says, tell someone about secrets that disturb you. Earlier I talked about good secrets and bad secrets.
yeah,
So you explain to the child, like, a good secret could be that you're planning a surprise party for maybe the mother or the father, and you say, oh, please don't let them know. And then you're going in hushed tones, making your plans and everything. Every time the
yeah,
child remembers that, they feel good about it. They can't wait for the D-Day,
yeah, yeah,
but a bad secret will make the child feel downcast, will make the
yeah.
child uncomfortable.
That's
And
true.
these predators, they use fear to hold children hostage. They go
That's true.
like, if you tell anybody, I will kill you. You tell anybody, I'll kill your siblings, or I'll kill your parents. Those kind of words to hold the children hostage. So you have to let the children know that anything that makes you feel bad, you have to let me know. Anything you're not certain of, any secrets you're not certain of, you have to let me know. You can come to me and tell me about it, and let's talk about it. And then finally, S says that, speak up, someone is listening.
That's
You
true.
have talked to your mother, you have talked to your father, they have said shut up. So you talk to your teacher, talk to your guidance counselor, talk to the headmistress or principal, talk to your priest, but do
Yeah,
not keep quiet. When you keep
exactly.
quiet, you're empowering the abuser. Do
That's
not
true.
keep quiet. So, in a
That's
nutshell,
true.
that's the pants rule.
Okay, very so a recap. P means your private parts are private. A means what?
Always remember that your body belongs to you and to
Always
God.
remember your body belongs to you and to God. And I love that analogy you said. Definitely, you cannot go to the church to defecate or urinate. So, if you can't do that, why will you
Mm.
do that with your body, which is the temple of God? Then N means no, as in your no is
No,
firm. You don't even have any reason. You are not giving reason for saying no. You are saying
no,
no with all firmness, not the no that you are saying and you are laughing. Your no is no unapologetically. Then T means talk. Someone will listen.
tell
Keep
someone
talking.
about secrets that
Tell
disturb
someone
you.
about it. Abuse thrive in secrecy. Tell someone about it. In fact, when I was going for that outreach, any day we go to any school and come back, for 3 days I'm not myself. For
Yeah.
3 good days I will be so worried, that I'll be so uncomfortable because I'm thinking
Mm.
of the questions I see. And most times you ask them, did you tell your mom? Say, no, if I tell my mom will kill me. If I tell my son, what is happening? Now, when your child
You
has,
remember that one? You remember that one about the girl whom the landlord was molesting? Every time the mother
yeah,
sends her on her errand, the landlord will corner her under the step. And she
yes,
told her mom, still the mom kept sending her on errands. So you
exactly.
can imagine.
Even the one that had infection, chronic one,
Mm,
she told
mm-hmm.
the mom said, ah, you have started following men instead of doing anything. And by the time someone started molesting her, she couldn't tell the mom again. So
Yes.
this is a call. In fact, most of the reports we had was on the mothers. I don't think the fathers we had so bad. The father, I used to hear that fathers molest their children. It was
Yes.
through this outreach that I
Yes.
saw the victims. I saw the victims
Mm-hmm.
shedding tears. You will see a girl in SS1. The molestation happened when she was maybe 6 years. After,
Mm,
like, from maybe primary six to after 4 or 5 years, that person is still crying, telling her story. Meanwhile, this is
mm-hmm.
something she has said in the house and nobody believed her.
Nobody, yeah.
So for me, my own lesson is, let's normalize believing these children. In as much as we say, oh, they lie a lot, but don't just sweep it under the carpet and say it's a lie. You can do your independent investigation, but before
Investigation,
that
true.
child, accept first. Accept first. Listen to
Yeah.
her first. Ask questions. Then maybe you can now start monitoring and all that. For me, the surprising thing I need to share with every parent, the children complain, the teenagers complain that they have nobody to talk to. Meanwhile, this same
Mm-hmm.
person has a mother, has a father in the house. Now you're like, you are not we that we just come to their school once and go. Like you rightly said,
Mm-hmm.
after talking, they'll still go back to that home. Who is following up? Who is going to listen? Who is going to share pay attention? Okay, Chief Eme, you're welcome. She said thanks a lot. I believe your
You're
explanation was
welcome, Chief.
well understood. So parents, let us normalize listening to these children. For me, that's one of the things I said I would tell parents any day we'll talk about this. The children, the teenagers, they want to talk to us, they want us to listen to them, they want to learn. But the problem is that they don't have that trusted adult who will listen to them, who will teach them, who will guide them. Thank you so much, Barrister Nnenna, for coming.
You're
What can you tell
welcome.
parents about the Parents Academy? We are starting the next cohort July, and we're going to onboard some parents. What will you tell parents about that?
Okay, about the Parents Academy, there's this saying that if you know better, you're expected to do better.
Yeah,
Our parents didn't have resources like this. It was, would I say, they were just winging their way through parenting, and it was more of anything you do, they'll beat it out of you. It's either they're shouting it out of you or they beat it
yeah,
out of you. But
That's true.
then in our generation, we have all this resources available to us. I would say we should, grab these opportunities, because you're not just raising children. I see parents as caretakers.
Yeah,
God has given you these children not because you're worthy, not
that's
because you
true.
have done something exceptional, not because you're so righteous, but because
That's true.
He shows mercy to whom He will show mercy, and He has given
That's
you
true.
these children. So you're like a caretaker in their lives. Just
That's true.
imagine building a house and putting a caretaker in charge, and maybe you come one day and the whole house is run down. Meanwhile, there's a caretaker.
That's true.
That's the same way it is. So we have all those resources. The parenting academy is wonderful. Like, I think you should be asking people who are actually in this parenting academy to tell their experience of
Yeah, yeah.
the,
And
the most
Chifeme
like,
is a home hero. Chifeme, can you type just one experience? Like Chinasa that was here last week, she told her experience. Chifeme, you can type your experience as a home hero.
you
Um,
know, because
yeah,
being in the parenting academy, not just how do I put it now? You are being guided, you are
yeah,
made to unlearn
yeah,
and
that's true.
relearn. And then you
Yeah,
have ample opportunity to ask so many questions. And
yeah,
you're being told, okay, this is what is going to work. And when we say parenting academy, even if your children are teenagers, it doesn't stop you from joining.
that's
We've been
true.
talking about, talking to the children, allowing being approachable and all that. Maybe when they were younger, you were not approachable, and then now they're in their teens, 13, 14, 15, and above. And you still want to have that relationship with them. You should be in the
Yeah,
parenting academy. You should be in the
all right.
parenting academy.
All right, thank you so much. So, for those of you who are interested to be part of the academy, the link is in the description. Then, for our book, Between Love, Infatuation, and My Identity, that's a book you really need to give your teenager. The link for the soft copy is in the description. The hard copy, if you need the hard copy, our email address is there. Write to us. We'll send to you anywhere you are in this world, unless you're not in the planet Earth, maybe you're in Moon or Venus, then we think about getting a rocket to take it to you, to your location. So, dear parents, you've heard it all. If you just joined, you missed, because in fact, when we end, start all over, because Barrister Nnenna shared a whole lot of things, insights that will help you. You may be thinking it's all good, everything is good. It's not all good. You can also join the Parents Academy from July. We are going to talk about, in that academy, we are going to talk about technology. Now, technology has become part of our lives. So it's also something we need to learn how to still be close with our children, monitor their activities, make them safe online, because the technology is here. So what we need to do is to unlearn some of the things. And also, there will be a structure where you'll be pushed to get become better version of yourself. We're going to look at your finances, your mental health, your parenting, your children's academics. As a parent, if these four things are settled for you, I think you'll be a winner, because these are the major things: your finances, your children academics, your mental health, your parenting. What else are you looking for? We are going to empower you to give your children the needed skills to cope in this 21st century, because there are lots of skills they need outside academics. They need emotional intelligence, social skills, ICT skills, a whole lot of skills that they need. We will empower you so that you go and empower your children and your children's children, because we are all going to see our children's children. That's every
Amen.
parent's prayer. So, if you are interested in joining the academy, the link is in the description. Join us there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We have a home hero. I say I'm a home hero from the Chelsea, UK, and this topic is good. The
Wow.
weather, ladies. Wow! 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 Wow!
Thank
Wow!
you.
Thank you very much. We are good to have you from all the way from UK. So we are made up of people from different parts. You can join from anywhere in the world, because it's virtual.
Thanks to
It's not
technology.
yeah, thanks to technology. So we are going to bring in another home hero who will talk to us about how to deal with childhood trauma. A lot of us made lots of mistakes because of our parents who are just struggling. You don't blame them. They didn't know. If they knew, they would have done better. Now we know. If we make the same mistake our parents made, is an error. So I'm going to bring in someone who will talk to us about managing our childhood trauma. I also want to have another webinar where I'll talk about safety on the digital space. I will be the one to handle that. But this June, I'm giving it to my home heroes. You will hear from them. Let it not be that Amma is talking too much. And meanwhile, I'm a professional guidance counselor, member, Counselors Association of Nigeria. So if you're a home hero, you have unrestricted access to a professional counselor for 6 good months. Just for 30,000 naira for 6 good months, a counselor will counsel you in all aspects of life, your relationship, your parenting, your finance, everything for 6 months. What else can I do for you? I've done everything. So thank you so much, Bryce Nnenna, for coming around. If you
Thank you
are,
for having me.
yeah, I will still call you again. So warm up. If you are new here, please subscribe to this channel. Share this particular video to many parents. Even if your child is not yet a teenager, in fact, you even need it more than those who have teenagers. So you start building now. It's not when they become teenagers. I have teenagers. I'm having a good relationship with them today because I started building when they were
Started
not.
early.
I didn't start now. And teenage stage, one thing, funny thing about them, when they are younger, you are like, oh, I wish they'll get to teenage stage when I'll lie down on the bed, they'll prepare their food, go to school and all that, and my problem, my parenting problem will be over. I said that until they became teenagers. Fine, they clean the house. I'll lie down on my bed, working on my sister, they clean the house. They prepare their food, go to school because I started early. Because if not, I'll still be the one cooking for them. They prepare, wake up on their own. I'll even be lying down, they're done, they go to school. But there is another problem with that stage. Another problem is the emotional worry for you, the parents. Now we are talking about all this immorality, addiction, drug addict and all that. With this Yahoo thing, I saw a video today, young boys of 14, 13 years, they took a girl, raped the girl, buried her in a shallow grave at that age. And you remember that you have a boy of 14 years in your house. That is the problem of teenagers. So when you get to that stage, they're happy physically, but emotionally, mentally, oh my goodness, you are there. You are there. If not, you are like, all these things I'm seeing, let it not happen in my house. So you keep talking, you keep empowering them, you keep building on the values you've built before, and still praying that what you are doing should work. So it's not, oh, they have grown. Like some of us, once your child is like 17 years, you stop training that child. You even give that child the younger ones to start training. Meanwhile, at 17, in fact, that is even why you should step side by side and still be talking. So parenting is not for the faint-hearted. And honestly, teenagers will whine you. Teenagers will test your patience, they'll test your tolerance, and they'll keep testing you. One day you tell them come back by 4 o'clock, they come back by 6 o'clock just to test your patience. So that consistency must be there. It's not easy. So be in the academy. Let's talk about all of that. We'll do this again next week, probably with another guest. Thank you so much, Bryce Nnenna, for coming around. Thank
Thank
you,
you
my
for having me.
even those who are live and those who will watch after this. Thank you. I appreciate you for listening to this moment. We will see again next week Sunday. Let's try it again. By then, I must have finished struggling with Facebook Live because I want us to stream both live on Facebook and on YouTube. This message needs to go viral because every child is important as long as our society is concerned. Every child is important. All right. See you next week. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Barrister Nnenna.